So it's already recording, Jorge. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I will pause it. Wait.
Format apparently is great. So thank you all for joining. You can't really see, I'm gonna put this one. Thank you all for joining this webinar prepared by SMAPE, an Interreg Europe project focused on shared mobility plans. So just as an introduction, our partnership is composed by seven partners from seven countries. You have the list here. So given that it's Interreg Europe, we have members from pretty much everywhere in the continent, going from Greece to Norway, passing by Germany, Italy, and Romania and Slovenia. Jorge and I are part of POLIS. We are an advisory partner of the project, along as well with Autodelen, now Way to Go, in case you know them from before or now. And yeah, and just for today, because the important part is what my colleagues from the project will present, we have a 1 hour webinar. We're going to focus on the case studies from Ljubljana, the province of Mantova, and the North Aegean region, three partners from the project that have been working on their policy instruments around shared mobility and mobility in general. They've been doing very interesting works, talking with stakeholders, modifying some policy instruments they already have, maybe creating new policy instruments as well. So we are gonna start with the case of the Ljubljana urban region with Romana, and we are then gonna move to Ilaria for the province of Mantova, and we are gonna finish with Vasia, who's gonna tell us about the North Aegean region. And at the end, we're gonna have 10 to 15 minutes for questions and closing remarks in case the audience have anything to clarify. So that's it. I'm gonna leave the floor to Romana so she can start with the case of Ljubljana. Thanks, everyone.
Good day to everyone. First, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
hear you.
great. Well, I come from Slovenia and I work for Regional Development Agency of Ljubljana Urban Region. And here are some facts about our country. It is in Central Europe with a population of approximately 2 million people. And it's located at the intersection of two core trans-European transport networks, the Baltic, Adriatic, and Mediterranean. You can see that we are small, but we have 212 municipalities that are combined in 12 statistical regions. And our region is situated in the center of the state called Ljubljana Urban Region. Our region is very diverse. Alps on the north and flat marshes on the south. And our municipality is Ljubljana, actually the state's capital, and with population a little bit less than 300,000 people. A little bit more, our region has a population of a little bit more than 500,000. Only 8% of their area is urbanized. And the Ljubljana urban region is the most highly developed of the 12 statistical regions of Slovenia. On this slide, you can see the 5 main challenges that Ljubljana has, urban region has. The main focus, the core of the work that we also do in agency is traffic and public transport. And here is the key number, the key information that we need to address. In SMAPE, we are especially interested in how to integrate shared mobility in our policies to reduce car use. We have a lot of daily commuters that come to our region, and you can see that we get 100 employed persons coming to our region, also more than 227,000 people going out of the region. And there are also workers that also live in Ljubljana. So there is approximately 117,000 people daily migrating to and from Ljubljana. As I've said, sustainable mobility is one of the central development goals of the Ljubljana urban region. Traveling by car has been prioritized in the past. Most of the infrastructure budget was used for building highways, and public transport has been neglected. Each year, we face the increase of traffic by 3%. Here you see the modal split of, on the first part, Ljubljana urban region, and then the city of Ljubljana. You can see that the region, almost 85% of trips are made with a car. Public transport is only 14%. The situation is a bit better in the capital. Ljubljana is a sustainable island, we can say, in the middle of our region. Main contributing factors are that it's a better PT functionality, shorter distances for walking and cycling. So on the regional and national level, the mobility is still one of the prime challenges. As this slide presents, the public road transport in the morning rush hours is estimated to around 7,000 passengers, while the capacity of the bus public transport is estimated 11,000 passengers, and this is clearly not sufficient for 170,000 daily commuters traveling in and out of our region. So here you can see that in the Ljubljana Central, there is a good PT stops, and are frequently developed of bus and other stops. But the residents that are distant, which are these red dots, are not able to even to go to the PT stops and then come to the, let's say, center of Ljubljana for work. On existing policies supporting or regulating shared mobility policies are on the national level, the Ministry of Infrastructure and the Ministry of the Environment, Climate and Energy. On the next level, there is local level of 25 municipalities. 9 of those adopted municipal sustainable urban mobility plan. Which is, let's say, less than a half. Also, we have the regional level. So we had 3 before, so national, and then municipalities, and the regional level. This is to address all these issues that I've already mentioned. Ljubljana urban region has made a regional sustainable urban mobility plan focused on both mobility and space. It was prepared in 2018, and now we need to do some work to improve it, to renew it. This was the first adopted and officially approved regional SMAPE in Slovenia, and it served as a sort of role model and main input for national guidelines on how to prepare regional SMAPEs. It was a joint effort, not only of our agency, but also for research institutes. And it is based on public participation approach, which is very crucial. We performed interviews with mayors and crucial stakeholders, made a lot of workshops with experts, online service for general public, and so on. We were trying to achieve a mobility plan that was tailored to the actual need of each of our municipalities. So shared mobility is addressed only indirectly within the framework of sustainable mobility at the local, regional, and national level. So what we are gaining for is that the strategic and implementation levels will get the integration in all levels, national, regional, and local. Here are some local implementations that we already have. First, electric vehicles rental system, which you can get in the public space. Then we have Bolt, which is a free-floating electric scooter rental. In Ljubljana, we have Bicycle. This is public-private partnership. Then we have Prostofer. This is a demand response transport service working in the multiple municipalities across country, and it works on the as a volunteer project. Then we have Cavalier. This picture is from Ljubljana, but we also have it in Domžale and Grosuplje. It's again demand response on several locations. It's also co-funded by Ljubljana Public Transport. And we don't have any, sorry, go back a bit. We don't have any regional implementation. And at this point, on the regional level, we are trying to establish an e-bike system. And we are in progress of establishing that coherent and coherent system that will bring together the municipalities of our region, and it will be coherent also with Ljubljana Bicycle. So all the 25 municipalities will be able to use only one system. In the next 4 years, 94 new stations with 54 almost 600 bikes and more than 800 sharing docks will be implemented. And the system will enable faster, more comfortable, and above all, cycling over long distances, including commuting to work. This is our priority. Of course, this is the key importance to for all the municipalities in our region. While sustainable mobility and public transport are relatively well developed in Ljubljana and the larger towns in the region, data shows that the situation is much weaker and less populated in areas of periphery, with the hilly hinterland of the region being particularly problematic. Shared mobility can significantly contribute to improving access to PT, which makes it especially important in the following areas: large settlements, less populated periphery areas, and two more tourist areas and major employment centers. So this is what we are aiming for. And I've mentioned to you already that we are building the e-bike structure of mobility, and our municipality Medvode is already using the bikes. They started last year. And you can see that they are gaining new users. The drop is usually in June and July, because these are time for vacations and there is no school, and students are at home. This is the distant travel. You can see how far they're going. I must say that the mayor of Medvode was very proud that they could see the bike from Medvode in Ljubljana center. So somebody took like 10 kilometers from Medvode to Ljubljana, and which is a great use of e-bike. By the usage of it, we are then going to have a reduction of CO2. And as you can see, this was for Medvode, which means that we have actually planned as we have planned 219 trees. It equals the CO2 that we didn't made during the cycling. And if we go on, here are key objectives for improving shared mobility in Lur. Improving the current state of shared mobility in Ljubljana urban region primarily involves enhancing policies and integrating shared mobility services at the regional level. To achieve this, the following key objectives are essential: systematic promotion and planning of shared mobility, establishment of a regional shared mobility system, and also improving the integration of the services. And what are the target areas that you can see here? Large urban areas, daily migrations into Ljubljana that have good coverages of PT, going for the last mile. These are Kamnik, Domžale, Vrhnika, and Grosuplje. Then we have areas with poor PT connectivity, which means rural areas improve their mobility today. Only they can travel with cars. And we have to think of the socially vulnerable groups, and they are living also in Alps and Pohograjski Dolomiti, which is a hilly part of our region. Then we have tourism destinations, natural conditions for biking and e-biking in Ljubljana marshes and area of Kamnik and Domžale, which is can be also gained by a train with very good connections. And then May employment centers that are with a blue dot are sustainable mobility that has to be presented and shared, promoted among all the employees. We have, for example, BTC, Technology Park Ljubljana, where our agency is, and a lot of industrial zones all around our region. As you know, we have 5 pillars of sustainable mobility, and we are trying to gain within the SMAPE 4 of them. We will only exclude the freight and transport logistic. This is also included, but it fell out the green line. So only one we are leaving. We'll revise the action plan and measures and prepare an addition to them with measures for shared mobility. For each of these pillars, specific objectives were appointed, as well as implementation measures. Now we go to 10 proposed measures for implementation of shared mobility in our region. So, establishment of a clear regulatory framework, integration of shared mobility into transport strategies, development of appropriate infrastructure, and then we have promoting multimodality, ensuring accessibility, integrating shared mobility into corporate mobility plans, implementing shared mobility system at the regional level, and 2 more. implementing shared mobility system at the municipal level, and of course, promoting shared mobility through public awareness. This is also very important. We were working also a lot with stakeholders, and we are doing that in all our planning. This public participation is very crucial and takes place on the multiple levels, like a council of 25 mayors. Then there are interested stakeholders like cycling associations and, of course, experts. The process involves several rounds of consultations in which we are aiming for that all strategies, plans, and political decisions are based on participation approach. This was also the case when preparing the recommendations for the shared mobility for inclusion in the regional CPS. The most recent meeting that we had was in this week on Monday, and the final draft will be then presented and submitted to the regional council for approval, of course. So we need these 10 points that I've explained before. We need to have it in the municipal SAMs, regional SAMs, national SAMs. First that are we working now is municipal SAMs. In the next year, the end of the year, we are doing regional SAMs. And then we are presenting the national SAMs in 2028. And of course, then we are integrating all these of shared mobility at all the levels of governments. Just two more things. Last year in May, the Regional Center of Mobility had started operating, and it presents a tool for improvement the state of sustainable mobility at the regional level and represents an non-infrastructure measures of sustainable mobility implemented at the horizontal level. So what we do is we contribute to the development of sustainable mobility within the region by ensuring corporations, the exchange of knowledge and experiences, and the expansions of sustainable mobility promotion and planning activities across all the municipalities, which are again 25. And what we are aiming for at the end are regional special plans and SAMs that we are now doing will serve as the main expertise on sustainable mobility. You see how many municipalities we have. And at this point, you may say that this is a great collage if we were in a modern gallery, but we are not. We are dealing with mobility in our region. So what we see is that we have a lot of municipalities, and they are doing their decisions made only in their municipalities, but we want to make a coherent version of our urban region, and that's why we need to novellate our regional SAM, and then in 2 years' time, we'll adopt the first generation of the regional special plan. Already mentioned, in Slovenia, governance is carried out at two levels, local and national, and as a result, planning is fragmented and being conducted either on the municipal level or by the national level. But we need to do it also on the regional level because regional planning of sustainable mobility is particularly important for the design and also then for implementation of mobility system, transport, shared mobility, which has been shown to be effective only if coordinated at the regional level. So for the end. We have a lot of work to do, and 2 major plans to prepare: the regional SAMP and the special plan that are both scheduled for the year 2027. It is an intensive period, so you keep your fingers crossed for us that we'll be successful and we'll be able to present you the improved state of our region regarding the mobility. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Romana, for the presentation. Very interesting what you're doing. Questions, we're going to be taking them at the end, but feel free to write them on the chat or in the Q&A option, or just save it for the end, and the Q&A time we're going to leave at the end. So to not waste any more time, let's maybe move on to Ilaria and the province of Mantova case. Thank you a lot, Romana. Again.
Okay, thank you. Alonso, you can see my screen? Okay, great. So thank you very much, everybody. I'm Ilaria Leonardi, and I'm supporting the province of Mantua in SMAPE project. And today I want to present you the regulatory frameworks and partnership that we used in the policy instrument improvement to promote shared mobility in urban areas, small urban area and rural area in the province. My presentation has 2 main steps: the description of the process and then the description of the content of this policy instrument improvement. So starting from the process, as you can see, we have 5 main pillars. The overall methodology to improve the policy instrument that basically is the provincial territorial coordination plan of the province that focus on main areas, mobility, urban planning, and environment. But of course, in this case, we focus on majorly on mobilities. The objective of the instrument and the province need are the second pillar. So the province want to develop an integrated public transport network and sharing mobilities, supporting the municipalities elaborating guidelines for mobility hubs, and promote the coordination and the creation of public-private partnership and agreement. All these activities are essential if we have the communities and citizens on board on this process. The process, thanks to SMAPE project, because SMAPE was the occasion to improve this instrument and involve the local communities, is represented by the analysis of good practices and experience of the other partners, the visit on the field of these good practices and these good examples, and the constant dialogue, not only with the communities and with the other municipalities or public authorities, but also inside the province, because it's a small step, but it's fundamental to have all the departments aligned on the same focus, on the same objective. The 4th pillar is the toolkit. So the output of this project is, as we also call the SMAPE toolkit. So the adaptation at local level of SMAPE lessons learned, the stakeholder workshop and meeting, because as we will see, we have multiple meetings at the local level with all the stakeholders, and the alignment with all province department. The final output, the final result, is the approval of the 2 annexes of the PTCP of the policy instrument that are basically 2. So the cycle and pedestrian path plan updated, and the guideline for municipality for locate, elaborate, and design on the field the mobility hubs. So as said, the timeline and milestone at local level were fundamental. So the active involvement of our key actors and key stakeholders, starting from the beginning of the project. So in September 2023, we had the first stakeholder meeting to launch the project and collect first feedback, first need from the communities. And then in 2024, we have 3 main moment of dialogue with the communities and internally. So the second stakeholder meeting to define the criteria of the localization of hubs and which of municipality under the umbrella of the province of Mantua to be involved. The second, last August, was the internal workshop with the province to define a common cartography, possible services, hubs, localization, into deep with all the departments of the province. And in December, we have a practical workshop, so very with a very participatory approach with the stakeholders for definition of the hubs localization and the final output, the final input from them. This year, so in June, we finalized the annexes. So we finalized the elaboration of the cartography and the rules of the cycle and pedestrian path plan, and also we delivered the guideline. And at the end, in this month, so in August, some days ago, we officially approved the policy instrument updates and annexes, thanks to the presidential decree. The main lessons learned from partners, we have three main pillars also here. From the colleague from Ljubljana, it was fundamental, the Summer Academy, because we received some practical tips and hints about the integration of cycling path with the trains and railway trains. So how to integrate these two main, let's say, public transport mobility or soft mobilities. Thanks to the Romanian partners, we have the occasion last years to explore some example of mobility hub in a neighborhood. So to integrate this mobility hub not only with mobility issues, but also with other services for the communities and for citizens that were very appreciated by our local stakeholders. So to integrate, for example, e-commerce lockers or recycle wasting option and so on. So try to integrate in the mobility hub not only service for mobility, but also all other services for the local communities. And then we explore also the Bolt experience on sharing mobility, so a private company that deliver e-scooter basically, and also some more flexible way of transport like Uber and taxi. So it covers the need of all the users in the field. Also, mostly of the rural areas, citizens that need flexible services in sharing mobility options. And then from advanced partners SMAPE, so the city of Bremen and city of Bergen, that are of course municipality, we use their instrument, action plan, roadmap, not also guidelines that already delivered in the past, to be analyzed deeply and to be adapted in our guidelines. So their example of advanced partners was fundamental to give us some practical guide. And also from Wallon region, of course, in Belgium, the action plan for the region, since the province of Mantua is over municipality, so there is a sort of link between us and supra municipality level governance. Now I want to show you some hints and some inputs about our policy instruments. Go in deeply in the, let's say, in the content of the area. As you can see, the province of Mantua is not a big area. It's not so urban area instead of Mantua, that is the capital city. But we have the surrounded area, more rural or peri-urban areas. The province covers 72 municipalities. It's not high density in terms of population and in terms of territorial extensions. So the policy that we work on, it is the provincial territorial coordination plan, and it derived from the regional law. So as I said, the province is between the regional level and the municipality level. And the role of the province is to guide, to influence the municipality plans. And this policy instrument include many areas, as already said, but it focuses more on cycling and pedestrian paths. The two main instruments, as said, that we have improved. In reality, the first one was improved, and the guidelines were a new instrument. So as an axis of the main one, but is a newborn, let's say. So the first one, the updated cycle and pedestrian path, starts from the identification of nodes of the whole province to capillarize not only bicycle route, but also to try to find out some spot, the exchange hubs, let's say, so the mobility hubs, where to integrate the public transport and also promote the railway connections. And then the second objective of this plan was to connect and integrate the new project, the new connection, new infrastructure in the existing network. And the second step is the guideline, as already said, that want to guide, as the name, municipality on possible services and on possible option for the mobility hubs. In terms of action within the project, within SMAPE, so in this framework, we want to update the policy instrument, connecting municipalities or suburban area without railway stations or without rail network. We want to boost intermodalities and also capillarize and expand the transport network. As a second step, as said, we can say a long-term action. So after the project end, we want to involve actively, but also officially the municipality by signing the so-called territorial programs agreement that will, let's say, is the last step for the province to validate the adaptation and inclusion at local level of provincial plans. Here we have the main steps of policy instrument improvement process. We define 6 steps, starting from the definition of policy instrument and future objective. Basically analyze the criticalities, but also the strength of the province area, and capitalize and valorize the existing project, and also in the future strategy, and also to capitalize the public transport and existing network. The second step is the first policy improvement proposal, but this step is strongly related to the active involvement of local and private stakeholders. Also because the discussion with the local stakeholder were fundamental in the adaptation and the capitalization of international experience. So how to adapt the lessons learned at the local level. Another fundamental milestone or steps in the process was the constant dialogue with the local authorities. So not only municipality that in a short future has to implement our policy instrument in their respective instrument, but also inside the province, because I said it's fundamental to be aligned. Every department, every areas has to be focused on the same objective and strategies. Then the last 2 steps is the finalization, of course, of the elaboration of policy instrument, and then the final approval that came 15 days ago. Sorry. Now, just a quick look on the instrument itself. So the cartography. We have here the plan, the cycle and pedestrian path plan. This is the area of the province of Mantua. This area is the Mantua, so the most urban area that is covered, of course, by the mostly network of cycling and pedestrian, and all the surrounded area that are the municipalities of the big Mantua, the so-called, so the ring area, and also the more rural and external areas. The objective of the plan are basically 3 that leads to the sharing mobility hubs promotion itself. And they are the development of sustainable mobility, above all in the bicycle, as alternative form of mobility, the integration of transport, so an intermodal way to think mobilities, switching from bike to train to bus and so on, and have a good integration among all these options. And then promote a common strategy among municipalities to locate, organize, and equip the hubs. Here we have a short overview of the localization criteria for hubs. In the main maps, you can see the all over provincial area with the cycling path, the railway network, the rivers, because also Mantua has some hubs and some port area that include the public transport, we can say, and at the railway station. In fact, we identified 3 levels of mobility hubs. The level 1 is mobility hubs located in municipality with stop with where is located at least 2 railways line that generate a strong attraction of people, but basically is in Mantua cities. The second level, we have medium density attraction from municipality with railway stops located with 2 lines or a single line that generate a medium attraction of people. So the medium density and peri-urban area that mostly are the ring of Mantua, including also some municipality like Suzzara and Ostiglia. And then the third level, so low density and rural area, so municipality with stop located on a single railway that generate a low attraction of people. Another criteria fundamental for the localization of our hubs are the attractor poles, so-called. So we have some municipality in the rural area that has no railway station or lines, but they are fundamental as, for example, Viadana or Castiglione delle Stiviere that are attractor poles due to, for example, commercial areas, schools or hospital. So they are some point that generate a big attraction of people, even if with seasonalities, but they are important nodes to be considered. In the map, you also see the LPT, so local public transport stops. So this map try to integrate all the mode of transport to be included in our policy instrument, in our strategy. On the other side of the map, you can see a sort of zoom in of Mantua rings with a major level of detail in the connection between hubs and public transport network. Last, the guideline for municipalities. The objective, as already said, was to offer to municipality a practical guide, so something that they can use in everyday life, let's say, experience in the planning urban hubs. So to identify and localize mobility hubs. As said, we try to capitalize the experience from our advanced partners in the definition of mobility hub, on the definition of advantages of mobility hubs, the component. Fundamental again is the location, so the different type and different level in the province and different localization in relation to high density area or low density areas, since in the province of Mantua we have the 3 levels, the urban, suburban, rural mobility hubs. Some hint for the governance of these mobility hubs, so the relation with the private and public operators, how to manage the resources, how to manage the definition of localization, how to manage the branding process, and also to have an idea of timeline and milestone for the hubs implementation. The last chapters of this guideline are the lessons learned from other partners and the description of the role of the province of Mantua. Last slide is next step. So as I already said, after project end or during the project end, we want to monitor the implementation of these 2 main annexes. So by the end of SMAPE project. And the second step is the official involvement of municipality by signing the territorial program agreement. But as you know, in public authorities, the process in Italy above all, it's a bit longer. So we cannot guarantee to sign this agreement by the end of the project, but it's a process that will follow up our experience. And that's all from my side. Hope to stay in line with the timing, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Ilaria. Yeah, we are a little bit late, but it's fine. Very interesting. A lot of questions for your case, but let's go to Vasya to hear about the North Aegean region, and we'll ask the questions at the end. You're muted, Vasya.
Yes, sorry.
No worries.
Let me share my screen.
Yes.
Okay, here it is. I think you can see it full screen now.
Yeah, we see.
Okay, so hello everyone from my side. I will talk about the North Aegean region and what we did here for the shared mobility policies. First of all, let's start from where we are, because not everyone is familiar with the islands. So we are based in Greece. I am from the University of West Attica, and we are supporting the region of North Aegean. We are here in Greece, and the North Aegean region is these circled islands on the eastern part of the country, very far away from the mainland, as you can see. So, which causes many challenges. So this region is consisting only of islands. So we have multiple islands which have different needs, and this is very challenging in order to be able to have a holistic framework or something. So we need to have a separate infrastructure on each island, which requires higher costs and is more complex in terms of operation and designing. We have also a very high demand during the summer, as you can understand, but very low population density, which is not so attractive for operators. And we have to convince them to come to the islands. We have also some socioeconomic barriers. We could say that the people that live on the island are not so young anymore, so they are not very familiar with apps and all this new technology that shared mobility is linked to. These are the main challenges. However, we do have shared mobility on some of the islands. In fact, in Mytilene, we have a newly expanded the e-bike sharing system with 7 more stations and 50 more e-bikes, which is very good. But we do not have it on all islands. For example, we have smaller islands who do not have not even bike sharing systems, and this is where we are targeting with our actions that I will going to present later on. Also, I would like to state that the only shared mobility that we have is bike sharing and e-bike sharing. There is no car sharing, no scooter sharing on the islands, but we have only the rental companies. And this is why the statistics are not so available, and we worked on gathering and analyzing all this information to be able to have the policy adaptation later on. As I said, there are no specific policy measures about shared mobility on the islands. It is not the mainstreamed way of moving around. There was an initiative by the Greek government that included projects that promoted sustainable micromobility. And this is how the implementation of the first systems were implemented on the islands. And now we are trying to further expand the network, but also attract more users to it in order to be financially sustainable. In the frame of SMAPE project, we worked with the regional operational program. This is the key policy instrument for the region. It has the vision of empowering the local perspective of planning and to maximize the utilization of the mechanisms and resources of the islands in order to strengthen the economic and social cohesion. This is the overall approach of the regional operational program, of course, which has many priorities and many pillars. We started by focusing on priority 3, which is about enhancing the accessibility of the islands, which included also some sub-actions about sustainable mobility, but sustainable mobility in general. We introduced the shared mobility concept through the SMAPE project. But we started in priority 3, and we saw that the resources and the flexibility that we have was very limited. So during the policy adaptation process, we went to priority 6 as well, which is the priority that focuses on, let's say, smaller initiatives, on the sustainable urban development plans, on integrated territorial investments, on local development with the initiative of local communities, which focuses more on the smaller islands of the region. And this is what we worked with. As you can see, we have islands with population. The larger one is Lesbos Island, with population 56,000 inhabitants, but we have islands of 200 inhabitants only, or 450 inhabitants. So the variation and the needs of this island is very, very, very different. As you can see, these approaches, which are based on our policy instrument, these are different approaches, if I can say. And you can see the population that it refers to. We decided that we could go with the last one, the ITI for small islands, which refers to the population of 11,000 inhabitants. And it is about the smaller islands of the region, Agios Evstratios, Psara, Fourni, Karia, Inouches. We did it because imagine that you are on an island, on a small island, which you can go only by boat. Either your private boat or a boat of the line. And once you go there, you have no car because you were on this small boat, and you have no option. So the only thing you can do is go around this small port, have a swim, and go back. So we thought, together with the stakeholders, of course, that this should be changed. These islands have many other areas to provide to the visitor. So there should be an option to go to these other areas, to these more isolated, perhaps, areas. And shared mobility is the best way, because you need no private car. You can take it and then leave it for the next visitor, which is great for this case. So we wanted to go to that direction, but we wanted also to make sure that the actions that we're going to draft are very to the point and very tailor-made to the needs. So what we did was that we had the stakeholder meetings every semester. We had an extended interview, a survey interview with stakeholders. We analyzed the state of play. We had inspiration from other partners. So what we did was to create the knowledge base in order to have the best solution towards the policy direction that we decided we need. Through the survey interviews, we saw that almost all of the parameters of mobility status are below 5, except for the traffic conditions and road safety. So all of them are not assessed very well. And we also saw that the stakeholders believe that the social acceptance is the most important parameter in order to support the adoption of shared mobility, and the availability of shared vehicles is the second most important. Then we had the stakeholder meetings. We had them every semester, and we are very happy that we managed to involve almost all municipalities, 7 out of 11 municipalities, with high-level representatives. We had in every meeting, we had mayors, deputy mayors, senior directors, directors of the technical services of the islands, general managers of operators, very, very high level, and they were all very engaged. What I derived from this was that that each island has different needs. As I said, other islands are larger, other are smaller. They highlighted that they have problem with funding. So through SMAPE project, the fact that we could influence some funding towards shared mobility was great for them. And as I said, they thought that the additional options through micro-mobility hubs would be beneficial, especially for smaller islands. So the actions that we developed, the flagship action is this, the creation of micro-mobility hubs in smaller islands of the North Aegean region. The plan is to create these guidelines and these technical requirements so that each small municipality wants to implement this micro hub can do it right away. Through this plan, we're going to select strategic locations for the hubs. They will be near the ports or near tourist attractions, of course, combined with bus stops to have all the shared mobility and public transport together. And through this plan, we're going to also develop the technical specifications for infrastructure, which are crucial for tendering for the smaller municipalities. And we are also going to define the prerequisites on the specific characteristics of the hubs, like housing to protect users and vehicles from the sun, lighting for safety and accessibility, especially during night, parking and charging stations for shared bicycles and other micro-mobility vehicles. So the AI believes that this micro hub will look like this, like this image. So this will be our model, and we are going to have everything included in the final policy adaptation that is going to be finalized during the next days, during this month. And it is going to be approved by the region once finalized. We also have some other supporting, let's say, actions, the development of a carpooling system among colleagues. We want to, it is somehow unofficial right now, but we wanted to make it more official. So we wanted to define the responsibility framework. We defined a questionnaire to coordinate the trips. We created a group through social networks to coordinate who wants to go where and what time, etc. And the region is going to monitor and keep evaluating this action. Then we have the awareness raising on shared mobility systems, because as I said, as we saw through the survey, the awareness raising actions are very low right now. They are missing in the region, but stakeholders believe that they are very important. So we support them by providing this social media campaign or by organizing a demonstration event on how to use sharing these new sharing schemes together with local residents. And of course, we will collaborate with local businesses to have also this kind of shared bikes also for deliveries. Why not? And the final action will be a checklist or a roadmap on assessing the shared mobility conditions and framework, starting from the assessment of existing road infrastructure and the assessment of the current situation, infrastructure ranking, etc. Because as I mentioned in the beginning, the shared mobility concept is very new in the region. So we started from scratch, and now we're trying to equip the region with all these tools and all these guidelines and tips to be able to keep going and further expanding the system. So very quick, because I know that my time is over. The key takeaways for those that are interested in having shared mobility on the islands. Of course, the local context is the key. So we cannot work like we are in an urban area surrounded by other urban areas or connected with other urban areas. After that, the second most important is the integration of shared mobility into tourism strategies. This adds a lot of value, and this is why we also involve the association of hoteliers or the association of this kind of touristic businesses into our participatory approach. Of course, community engagement is a factor for success. First of all, listening to local leads, but then building trust with residents, and most importantly, make them feel like this is a very natural to use and very easy to use system. Then infrastructure and incentives go hand in hand. So we can understand that even we have the greatest infrastructure that connects everything with bike lines, if the people don't use it, we haven't succeeded. So we need adequate infrastructure together with accessibility and together with concrete incentives for the users. And last but not least, of course, take into account the policy instruments and make sure that the local authorities understand that these instruments are something that is dynamic and not stable document, solid, and that's it. These documents should keep evolving together with the needs and together with the new concepts and the new research that is being implemented in mobility in general, and most importantly in shared mobility. So these are all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vasia. So it's the end of the presentations. We are a little over the time, but I think we can have time for one or two questions if there's any from the audience. Feel free to open your mic or raise your hand, and we'll give you speaking rights. So yeah, let's see if there's any question from the audience. I don't know if there's any hand raised. Doesn't look like it. Well, the presentations, because I see the comment from one of the attendees, the presentations are going to be available in the SMAPE website. And we're going to also share a summary of what was said today in our social media, so mainly LinkedIn. So you're all going to have access to the session, of course. If there's no questions, I might have one just to kind of close the session is because we've put a lot in the project, there's a lot of emphasis on stakeholder engagement, and in most of your cases, since it's regional, you have to deal with different municipalities. For example, in Ljubljana, I know you've been quite successful to reach out to those municipalities and being able to sign this agreement for the bike sharing system. I know, Ilaria, in Mantova, you've had it's not as easy, and it's been quite difficult to get them on board as well. For the North Aegean region, you need a lot of awareness. So what would be, in your opinion, like the key to get the different municipalities to join this type of initiatives, of projects? In one or two words, basically. Whoever wants to start.
I can start if you want. It's a very basically support, just to ask them the real needs that they have. So starting from a simple workshop, it works very well for us, involving the stakeholder, calling them and say, okay, we want to establish mobility hubs. Do you think it's a good idea? Please tell me which are your needs, and come to discuss with the others, because you have the occasion to dialogue with every kind of actor. So the private, the regional public entity, local authority. So it was a good chance for them to explain the real needs and to collect from us the real needs of the communities and try to find a common solution. It's a simple way, but I think it works.
Yeah. Great. Basia, Romana, would you like to add something? Yeah, Basia?
Yes. I agree, of course, with Ilaria, but I also would like to add that you should highlight what they are going to win. So you should speak the way that they want to hear. And because if you say just the benefits of shared mobility, they hear blah, blah, blah. You have to speak what they are going to win and why this is important. And I think it is always good to always have something to show them. So in case there is a flagship initiative or a flagship project or something that proves its success or its way of going to success, let's say it could be a pilot or something. So if you have something to show them, it is easier to
Okay, great.
to engage them.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Vasia. Romana, would you like to add something or?
Well, I think that what the colleagues already mentioned is crucial. And I think also it's good to have one agency or one partner that is communicating, organizing, and doing all the predictions, how everything will go and what we need, as our agency is doing for all these municipalities. And again, our region is very full of cars, so you can see the congestions that they are, and all the municipalities that are bordering Ljubljana city see the prosperity of using the e-bike also during not just the summertime, but these bikes can be used also in the winter time, which is very good. They don't just have like during the summertime, and then during the winter they don't have that mobility anymore. And of course, again, money is crucial. And what our 21 municipalities are working on now is there will be funding, looking for funds from the national level. So they're applying for that funds, and we're hoping that we'll get them and we'll be able to join this project and going into actual action. So, and one more thing, maybe, as a colleague already emphasized, that a pilot, we have it in Medvode now, and they're really a good example. And are using the bicycles, so other municipalities can see how it works, and that it's not a boo-boo, if I may say. It's something that will the municipality will gain from getting.
Yeah. Great points. So money, pilots, and raising awareness. Very nice key points to finish the webinar. Thank you everyone who joined in the audience. Thank you, of course, Vasia, Ilaria, and Romana for your presentations. It was very interesting. As I said, everything is going to be available on the website and on social media, well, LinkedIn. And yeah, so that is it for us. Thank you very much for joining, and see you in the next SMAPE webinar. Have a nice rest of the day, everyone.
Thank you, and good day to all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.